But thank you to those who have been able to join us. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Laura Piercy. I'm one of the Associate Directors of LSWAP, and part of my role is around pathways, destinations, careers, and UCAS is obviously a huge part of that for so many of our Year 13s. So today's webinar does focus on clearing, which is, well, you'll find out in a second, it is the process that UCAS use where students who don't have an offer or who have changed their mind about where they want to go to university can find a new place. So just let you know before we start. If you have any questions during the presentation, if you pop them in the Q&A section, there is a Q&A. Put them all in there. I will go through the presentation, and then at the end, I will go through the Q&A questions and address those. So let's go. Oh, back to the beginning. Sorry about that. Oh yes, sorry. Just before we again get right into the clearing stuff. This is my penultimate webinar of the year. Some of you may have joined me for quite a few webinars over the past couple of years. Thank you to those of you who have. This is my penultimate one. We have one more, which is next Wednesday, and that is about apprenticeship pathways. Now, if you're here, I'm assuming it's because your young person has applied for UCAS and therefore applied for university. But they may also still be interested in apprenticeships, or you may have a younger child. They may have a sibling who's interested in apprenticeships. If that is the case, please do come along next Wednesday. It is suitable for Year 12 and Year 13 students and families. And as I say, it will mainly cover apprenticeships and then a little bit as well on other non-university pathways. So a little bit about deferring and other pathways like that. But it is mainly about apprenticeships. So here is my ugly diagram, which is a little bit hard to follow, but the point of this ugly diagram is just to show you that there are lots of different ways to be in clearing. Clearing has a bit of a bad rep, and that's going to sort of come up time and time again in this presentation. I think a lot less so in the past few years because UCAS have been working really hard to improve knowledge about clearing, really, and to let people know what it really is, because there's a lot of misinformation. And this is really just to show you that lots of different students can find themselves in clearing. So if they don't have any offers on results day, or they don't have any offers already, they can find themselves in clearing. If they do get an offer and they're accepted on results day, but then they don't get the grade, they don't get the grades, or they change their mind, they can go into clearing. And if a student changes their mind about their course or university, they can also go into clearing. So it's not just students who don't get their place, it's students who haven't yet applied. Or have only just decided they want to go to university this year, or students who have changed their minds. And every year at the SWAP, we get a significant number of students who, for one reason or another, decide that they don't want to go to that university or they don't want to go to that course, and they work through clearing to find an alternative. So again, just a little overview here. So this has already happened. All our students have completed their UCAS applications. They have all by now got their university replies. So if they've had their offers, they should have chosen their firm and insurance. The deadline for that was last month. If they didn't have any offers, they'd be straight into clearing. Or if they decided they didn't want any of their offers, they can put themselves into clearing. Again, we've got a minority, but some students at the SWAP who are in this situation now because they've changed their mind for whatever reason between January and June. When they get their grades then on results day, if they meet the requirements of either their firm or their insurance choice, then they will be accepted by that uni. And if they're happy with that, off they go. If they don't meet those requirements, they will be in clearing, automatically in clearing. And if they change their mind, as I've just said, they can also put themselves into clearing. But that's the key distinction there. If they don't meet the entry requirements, UCAS puts them into clearing. If they do meet the entry requirements and they change their minds, they have to release themselves into clearing. And I'll talk a bit more about that process as we go. So what is it? All clearing is just a list of all the courses in the UK that are not full. So any course that a university is running that they haven't filled is now in clearing. Clearing opened on the 5th of July. And this is how they fill any places that they've got available. So nearly every single university and nearly every course has some places in clearing. So again, it can be a bit of a myth that it's only low tariff courses or low tariff institutions. That is absolutely not true. Nearly every union course has some places in clearing. There are some that won't be there. So medicine won't be there because medicine courses tend to run their own sort of waiting lists, so they don't tend to use clearing. Oxbridge generally won't have any courses in clearing because again of their they have such a complex and different application process that involves pooling and interviews and all that kind of business, but pretty much everybody else will have something in clearing. And you can find courses with really high entry requirements. You can find very popular universities, very popular courses in clearing. The only requirement for a course to be in clearing is if they've got more places than applicants. Or, and this sometimes happens and it varies year by year, lots of the applicants don't meet their entry requirements. So if that's the case, then you'll find that on results day, there will suddenly be places in clearing that open up that weren't available previously because people haven't met those entry requirements. Unis get students' grades a few days before students do, so they can make the offers, so they know by results day how many students they're likely to have. So, who uses clearing? So, students who didn't get any offers when they submitted their application use clearing. Uh, Students who don't meet the entry requirements for their firm or insurance use clearing. Students who do better than expected use clearing. So sometimes you'll get a student who really pulls it out the bag at the end of year 13. They do fantastically. And then they decide that they're going to look for a different course or a different uni in clearing because their grades are different to what they expected. Students who change their minds. Now, students who change their mind on results day, students who change their mind after results day. Clearing is open all through September. So occasionally we get students who, a week or so after they get their results, they then realize that they aren't quite happy with their uni or course, and then they release themselves into clearing. Students whose circumstances have changed. So suddenly they need to live at home, or they don't want to live at home, or whatever, they will use clearing. And students have only just decided to go. So if you haven't put an application in year 13, you've not applied to uni yet, you can apply now. However, if you apply now, you don't get to choose your courses. You will go straight into clearing and then you choose your courses after you've done your application. So it's the other way round to a standard UCAS application. Nearly everything, as I said, is available in clearing. So it's easier to tell you what you won't find. So you won't find medicine, dentistry, or veterinary. You won't find Oxford or Cambridge. You won't find oversubscribed courses at really popular unis. So something like law at Bristol or maths at UCL isn't going to be there, but lots of other things are. So there will be law courses and maths courses in other universities, just maybe not at the most popular unis. So just to give you a sense of what really popular degrees are at the minute, these have been the same for the past couple of years. Psychology, hugely popular at the moment, the most popular undergraduate course in the UK. Law, computer science, both extremely popular, medicine and adjacent. Now, that actually doesn't mean there'll be fewer places in clearing. Actually, there can sometimes be more because universities make more places because they have more students wanting to do them, so they increase their capacity. As I say, of those, medicine is the only one that you're not really going to find. So, how does it work? In practicality, how does it work? So, if you're already in clearing, so if you haven't got any offers, or you've declined all your offers already, or if you know now that you don't want to go to your firm or insurance choice, then you can start looking in clearing now. So, as I said, it opened on the 5th, so it's been open a few days. If you haven't got any offers, you're already in clearing, you've been automatically entered. If you've accepted an offer, so if you're currently holding a firm and insurance offer, or just a firm offer, then you need to decline that first before you can go into clearing. And don't do that. You can't do that until you get your results. But just to let you know that that is the process. So If you are currently holding offers or you can't apply for any courses in clearing until results day, but you can look for them. So you can look for courses, which is what we recommend. You can make shortlists, and then once you get your grades, once you get your results, if you are going to use clearing, you've already got that shortlist. So a few just very simple key dates here. So clearing's already opened. SQA results don't apply to us because we're not in Scotland. 14th of August, level 3 and A-level results are published. Clearing is actually open until the 20th of October. It is open really late. I don't advise you use clearing after the end of September because you're going to miss the start of term. But there are a few people occasionally who do use that. So, how does it work? If you don't get the grades for your firm and insurance choice, you'll be entered into clearing, as I've already said. If you're thinking now, I don't know if I'm going to get my grades. So I'm looking at, I know I've been made an offer of two A's and a B or three B's or 120 UCAS points or whatever it is, but I'm not sure I'm going to meet that. Then you can start researching now. And we really strongly recommend that you do that. In fact, even if you're confident, even if you think I'm definitely going to get three B's, I'm definitely going to get 120 points, I would really recommend that you find at least one course in clearing that you'd be happy with because it's such a good idea to have a backup just in case things don't quite go how you plan. Um, but it is really important for you to know that we know it can be really upsetting, it can be really stressful to not get the grades that you want on results day. So we are around to help. So on the 14th, all the directors will be there. Most of your heads of year will be there. We'll be around at the Le Swap building. So Parley and Ellis, Le Swap joint sixth form building from 8 o'clock on Thursday the 14th. We'll be there until the early afternoon. And then I will also be there on Friday the 15th. So the day after, I'll be at the Le Swap building in person. So if you do need any advice, you do need any support, I will be there for you to come and have a chat. We've also got some brilliant volunteers from industry that are there on results day. Often people who've used clearing themselves and have got a really good and have had a really good experience with it. So there's lots and lots of people for you to talk to. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So I'll stop this share for a second. Go back in. So now clearing is open. You can see just on the normal UCAS search website, you can see that it now says clearing 2025 at the top. It's got that banner on it now. So you can now search for clearing. So this is a really good tab here, this clearing 2025 one, because it's got loads of information from UCAS about how clearing works, about things that happen on results day and after results day, good advice about who to contact, loads of guides. This is really good. This guide here for calling universities during clearing, a guide for parents. UCAS is brilliant at giving help and support to students. But if you want to search for courses, then you can. And you can start to find things that are available in clearing. So let's say that we want to do, we already talked about maths, let's say that we want to do maths, then we can look for universities that have maths available, and we can filter just how we could on the main UCAS search. So we can filter by entry requirements, we can filter by where, by location. Where do you want to study? How far do you want to travel? And you'll be able to see courses in here that are available in clearing. So it's that easy. It's just the same as using the UCAS search in the rest of the year. So for a lot of people, the main time they'll interact with clearing is on results day for obvious reasons. So what you should do on results day, log in and check UCAS track. You can do that at home. Students will find that their UCAS track updates quite early in the morning on results day. So they will likely know, if they want to check, they don't have to, but they will likely know before they pick up their results whether or not they've got into their firm or insurance choice. UCAS won't give you your results. It doesn't have your results stored in UCAS track, but it will say, congrats, you're in your firm choice, congrats, you're in your insurance choice, or apologies. So check that application status. Um, if you are in clearing, then you can search for a course that you like. We really recommend that you have your UCAS ID or your clearing number on hand, which is in track, because then when you ring up your universities, you can give that to them. You will need to call the university that you've chosen and check that they'll accept you before you press the button. It is worth bearing in mind that they will often accept lower entry grades than the standard entry requirement. So if it says on the website on UCAS search that a course wants ABB, they will very, very likely accept ABC, maybe or BBB, maybe even ACC. It is worth calling them and asking because they want to you want to go, you're keen, they want to fill that spot, so they will try to work with you. However, and I know people really hate this, but you do have to call them yourself. We can't do it for you. They won't speak to us. You have to ring them. So on results day in the joint swap building, there will be a phone, a landline set up in each of those classrooms. There will also be laptops available. In that building. So there will be private spaces for students to sit and to get on the phone and to call the university. Mobile signal is rubbish in that building. And also, we don't want you don't need to use your phone contract. You can use our phones. And you might have to sit and wait on the phone. Do be prepared for that. They will be busy. Um, We'll talk about UCAS matches in a sec, but you can get automatic UCAS matches through clearing. If you pick one of those, you can just click on it to express interest, and then they'll ring you. You can still ring them up to make it quicker, but you can do it that way around if you really don't want to phone them. If they agree on the phone, so for example, I decide I want to do art at Middlesex. I ring them up. I tell them my grades. They say, that's fantastic. Yes, we'll take you. I then go back to my UCAS track. I find that course in clearing. I click on it and I wait for them to confirm. So on the morning then, your application status in track, which I've just said to check. So this is in UCAS track when you log in. You might get different messages in there. So the most common message, and what we really want, is this one here. Congratulations, you've been placed at your firm choice. Or congratulations, you've been placed at your insurance choice. Brilliant. In those cases, you don't have to do anything. You've been accepted. The uni will then contact you. You've done amazingly. The only thing that you might need to change with your insurance is you might need to sort out your accommodation with your insurance. I'll talk about accommodation a bit later. And you will also need to let student finance know that your university, if your university's changed, but that's it. Firm choice, you don't need to do anything. What we don't want is this one waiting for confirmation. Occasionally, you'll get this where we're still waiting for your university, in which case we will usually ring them up and find out what's going on. Sometimes it's a glitch. Sometimes they want sorry, the words come completely out of my head. They want to know how many marks you've got in a particular module or paper, but this is really very unusual. You don't usually get this. And the other one you can get, the clearing one, is this message here. You've not been placed at your firm and insurance choice. You are now in clearing. And that is when you go through the clearing process that we've just talked about. So once you are in clearing, UCAS can send you clearing matches. So they sort of look at you, they look at the courses that you applied for, they look at the courses that you've got, that you shortlisted, they look at the grades that you got, and they suggest some courses that they think you might like based on data about you. If you're eligible for it, if you've given them permission, then because you have to give them permission, they can't just do it. You'll see a button called See Matches, and then you can well, you can look at your matches if you want to. They might not be right. They often are. They're often pretty good, but they might not be right. You do have to click to tell them that you're interested. It's not an automatic thing. You have to click on them to say yes, please, and then the university will contact you. And if you don't like any of them, you can just ignore them and search for yourself. So this is what a clearing match might look like. So Rosie gets her exam results. Unfortunately, she doesn't get her grades for a firm or insurance. She signs into a track. She sees a see matches button, and then she clicks on it, and there's a list of matches based on her original choices. She clicks interested on four of them. She gets a call from one of them. They have a chat. They ask her why she wants to study the course. She's impressive. They offer her a place. She adds that course as a clearing choice, and off she goes to university. So it's quite a nice system. Another reason that we get for students who using clearing is either they've done better than they're expected or they've changed their mind. And if that happens to you, if you don't want to go to the university that you've been accepted by, you can decline your place and release yourself into clearing. So that might be because you've just completely changed your mind and you don't want to do psychology anymore. You want to do, I don't know, geography. Or it might be that you missed your firm choice. You've been accepted by your insurance choice, but you actually aren't that keen on your insurance choice. So either way, you you will need to log on to UCAS and you need to click to release yourself into clearing. You'll then get a confirmation from UCAS. It will tell you you're now in clearing and you cannot reverse this. So please don't do it unless you're absolutely certain. Please don't do it at home. Please don't panic and go, oh, I actually hate Roehampton. I don't want to go there and press the button and then you regret it. Uh, Please talk to us before you do it. And we also really strongly recommend that you get a verbal acceptance from a different uni before you decline any places because you don't want to end up with nowhere to go. So we recommend that you actually find, before you press the decline button, before you press the release button, that you check clearing, you find something you like, you ring them up, you get a verbal acceptance, and then you put yourself into clearing. A note on firm and insurance choices. So, as you know, you can't switch between your firm and insurance choices. You've never been able to throughout the whole UCAS process. So, if you've been accepted by one of them, that's where you're going. So, if you've got the grades for your firm choice and they've accepted you, you're going there. If you missed the grades for your firm choice and you've got into your insurance choice, you're going there. You cannot switch them around. As I've already said, if you've changed your mind, check clearing. You might find the other course there. So if you've been accepted by your firm choice and you actually would rather go to your insurance choice, it might be in clearing. So you might be able to ring up and do that. The other way around is not likely, will not happen. So if you have been rejected by your firm choice, there is no point in calling them up and trying to discuss it on the phone. If they've said no, unfortunately, they have said no. And we really strongly advise that you spend that time and energy looking elsewhere rather than trying to chase a uni or a department that's said no to you, because it is vanishingly unlikely. I've never known it to happen that they would say yes. They've had quite a long time to consider, and if they were going to make you an offer, they would have made you an offer. A few tips for results day then. So have a short list of courses in advance and have the admission contact details if possible. Save them in a Google Doc or in your Notes app or something like that. Also put your clearing number and your UCAS ID in there. Set aside time to make phone calls. Be patient. As I said, there will be phones in the swap building for you to use. Please don't panic if you can't get through straight away. There will be queues on the phone. They will try to talk to you. Ask us for help. Please ask us for help. We're around on results day. I'm there on Friday. If you can't get through on the phone, if you've been like banging your head against a brick wall and you really can't get through and it's stressful, take a step back. Send them an email, have a break for an hour, check your emails. If they've got back to you, great. If they haven't, try ringing them again. You might have to try a few times through the day. If you're a bit flexible, then use the UCAS match service and wait for them. That will take the pressure off you, and you can do that. Likewise, if you're a bit flexible about where you go or you want some time to think about it, you can always wait until Friday, and take a bit more time. Clearing is first come, first served, though. They don't reserve spaces. They're trying to fill up as soon as they can. So you don't want to be waiting too long, or the longer you wait, the fewer places they will be. Uh, what I should actually say, what my top tip for results day actually is come in on results day. So I know it can be a bit stressful. Not everybody likes that kind of opening results in front of people and that sort of business, and I absolutely appreciate that. But we are the best placed people to help you. So if you can come in on results day, please come in on results day. That is my absolute top tip. Um, Sorry, just on that note, actually, if you absolutely can't, and you're unavoidably out of the country, or you break your leg, or whatever, if you know you're going to be out of the country, unavoidably out of the country, then you will also need your results remotely. So you'll need to request that from the exams officer of your child's base school or your base school. We don't send out results by email, obviously automatically. You have to ask us. So if you can't be around on results day, we can send out your results by email. You can also appoint a proxy to come and collect your results for you, but you have to do that via your exams officer. You must do it before the end of term. The exams officer details were in a letter that went out by email that Anna Rimington sent out quite recently, and they're also in the LeSwap newsletter that will be sent to you on Friday this week. So if you do need to do that, please do it before the end of term because they won't be around all of summer. So what should you do now? Key things to do now. Check the entry requirements for the firm, for your firm and insurance choice. Make sure you know what they are and check them exactly. So check and see, do you need an A for maths specifically? Do you need, a distinction in your BTEC specifically? Do you need a GCSE? Are you waiting on a GCSE reset? If you are waiting on a GCSE reset, as you'll know, GCSE results aren't until the week after, so you may not get your offer on A-level results day. If it's dependent on a GCSE result, you may not get that offer until the week after. There's nothing you can do about that. You just have to wait and see. Realistically, consider, are you going to meet them? So this was last year's student. So they need an A star in maths, A star in further maths, and an A in something else at A level. Sit down and really, be honest with yourself. Are you going to get that? If you are, brilliant. Maybe have a backup anyway. If you're not sure, get on clearing and make yourself a shortlist. Deferrals. You cannot apply for a deferred place in clearing. If you're applying through clearing, you have to be starting in 2025. You can't apply for a clearing place in 2026 because they're trying to fill up places they've got available. If you've got an offer for a 2025 start, so start this year, but you've changed your mind and you actually want a gap year and you want to defer, you need to contact them, the uni, directly as soon as possible to request that deferral. You can't do it through UCAS, you've got to ring them up. Don't try and do it on the morning of results day. They'll be incredibly busy. I'll maybe wait until Friday and give them a ring. They don't have to say yes. Bear that in mind. They might say no. If they do say no, then you've got two choices. You either go in 2025 as you applied for, or you withdraw for this year and you reapply. You can apply for the same course in uni again, but you reapply for 2026. And if you do decide to wait, so if you decide that you want to you do want to start this course, but you don't want to start it until next year. As I said, you can call admissions to request a deferral. They might say yes, they might say no. If you want to apply for a completely different course, so you've totally changed your mind about where you want to go or what you want to do, then you can just decline your offers in UCAS. You will be put into clearing, but you can just ignore it. You'll get loads of emails from them, but just ignore it. And then you can reapply for UCAS again after the end of September. So it will be, they wipe your old application. It will be a brand new application. You have to do the whole thing again. You have to pay again, unless you're entitled to free school meals, or you have been entitled to free school meals, in which case UCAS is free. If you do choose to reapply, then we will write your reference. Because as I say, you need to do the whole application again. We're more than happy to support references for ex-students, but please check our policy carefully and please check the dates. So for 2026, the UCAS application deadline is earlier. It's 2 weeks earlier. It's the middle of January. For this year's year 13, it was the very end of January. It basically means that we've only got 7 working days, less, I think it's 6 working days. When we get back from the Christmas holiday, we've only got 6 working days before the UCAS deadline. So we cannot be writing references. We can't be doing references or having requests from ex-students during that time. We won't have time to do them. In fact, the deadline for reference requests is quite a bit earlier. I think it's around the end of October or the beginning of November, to allow us to process them alongside the hundreds of current swap students. So please do check that carefully. As I say, happy to do them, but please don't ask us last minute because we might have to say no. A quick note on student finance. Hopefully you have already applied for student finance. If you haven't, please apply for student finance now. Please don't wait any longer because you might not get your money before you start. If you've already applied for finance, but your uni has changed, so the uni that you put on your finance application and the uni you're going to are different for whatever reason, then this is super quick, but you need to log into your account and you need to tell them. It's really quick and easy. Your UCAS application and your student finance application aren't linked together, so they don't know that your university has changed. And it does affect the amount of loan that you can get. It doesn't affect your fees loan, that's all the same, but it can affect your maintenance loan. So, for example, if you've gone from living at home to living away, then they will recalculate and readjust how much loan that you're meant to get. Same the other way around. If you were out of London and you're in London, again, they'll need to recalculate. So you must tell them. And I say, if you haven't applied for finance, please apply for finance now. If you're deferring, you also have to let student finance know. You have to apply for student finance in the year you're going to uni. So if you're deferring, you'll need to log in and tell them you're not going, and it kind of switches your account off for the time being, and then you'll need to log back in February, March next year, 2026, and redo your student finance application basically with your new financial information for that year. Most unis reserve accommodation for clearing or insurance students. So I know accommodation causes quite a bit of a panic, but there should still be accommodation available. You might have a bit less choice, so some of the accommodation might be gone, but there will be accommodation available. Don't worry about it until you've confirmed your place on the course. Once you've done that, the uni will email you to sort out your accommodation. You don't do that through UCAS. Some universities have a clearing accommodation page on their website, so you can go straight away and sort it out if you want to. That's worth checking. If you've already booked accommodation through your first choice, your firm choice, and you either haven't got in or you've changed your mind, you know, whatever reason, if you're not going, then they will usually automatically cancel that accommodation for you and refund any deposits, but it can take up to 14 days. If you don't get a confirmation from your uni that you've had your accommodation cancelled, please do contact them in the week after results day and just double check because you don't want to be paying, two deposits for different accommodation at different places. So where to get help with clearing are the next steps. So from us, we are the experts. We will help you out. There's a great UCAS guide to results day, great UCAS guide to clearing. A complete uni guide also has some nice student advice, as does What Uni, and the individual university websites as well. Nearly all of them have a clearing, frequently asked questions. So I would advise that you certainly look at that for your firm and insurance choice. Or if you make a short list, check those university websites and check their clearing fact because they might have some stuff that's useful for you on results day. And that is that is it from me for now. So there's my email address. If you do have any questions about clearing, if you have any really specific questions that are like really thorny or about a particular student or a very, very specific situation, please do email me rather than asking a general question because it might obviously be information that you don't want widely discussing. And I'm more than happy to take emails. So I'm just going to have a very quick drink and then I'm going to check the Q&A and I'll answer any questions in there. So if you need to go, that's obviously completely fine, but I'll be back in 2 seconds. Lovely. So just a few questions, so I'll just go through these. Firstly, the course my son would like to do is available via clearing. If he doesn't get the grades he needs, could he still get onto it? Depends how far off he is. So as I said, if the course wants, 120 UCAS points, if he gets 112, then yes, probably. If he's 1 grade off, probably. If he's 2 grades off, likely. If he's much more than that, if this is an ABB course and a student's got, CDD, probably not. They're usually not going to go that low, but they will climb down slightly on the entry requirements, for courses that are in clearing, because as we say, they do want to fill them. So how does the uni contacts you work if you're abroad? Okay, so you can ring them. They might, if you are abroad and you use I would have recommend that you don't use the clearing matches if you're abroad, because if the university tried to call you and you have a number that's out of service, or if you're using a different SIM card to the one with the phone number that's on your UCAS account, they won't be able to get in touch with you. So I very strongly recommend that you don't rely on the uni getting in touch with you if you are not in the country. You can call them, absolutely. Obviously, it might cost you a bit, but you will need to call them. If you the clear when you look at up the course, when you look at the course through clearing, it will give you the clearing number to ring, and you will need to call that number. But as I say, I would not advise that you rely on a university contacting you if that's going to be difficult in any way. What time does the SWAT building open on the 14th of August? 8 a.m. Bright and early, 8 o'clock. Uh, Is it possible to tell how many places are available in clearing for a particular course? Unfortunately not. No, the unis do not disclose that to us. They don't tell students, they don't tell us. So it is, it, we just don't know. And there is no way of knowing. If it is a competitive university, they will likely have fewer places because they're more, or a very popular university or a very popular course. But there is genuinely no way of knowing. Right. I understood that if you have an offer of a firm and insurance place and didn't make the grade, you're invited to try clearing. Is that not the case? And the firm may say no. No, if you get the grades required by your firm choice, then you will be into your firm choice. So if your firm choice have made you an offer of ABB and you get ABB, you are in. If you don't get ABB and you get BBB, then your firm choice might say no, sorry, you haven't met the entry requirements, but you may still get into your insurance choice. If you get CCC, and so it's not enough to meet the entry requirements for your firm and your insurance, that is when you will be automatically put into clearing. So it's only if you don't meet the grades for your firm and your insurance. Sometimes as well, unis do offer places to students who miss the entry requirements. So, for example, if they've had a student who's applied, the entry requirements were ABB, let's just go with that. If the student's got ABC, sometimes they say, well, actually, that's close enough. We'll offer them a place anyway. And so sometimes students will open UCAS on results morning, see that they're in their uni, but actually their grades aren't quite what they needed to get into that uni, but the uni have accepted them anyway. It very much depends on how many applicants they've got for that course, how what the grades are that the applicants have got for that course. Sometimes the uni decides that they're better off with someone who's already applied rather than trying to find someone in clearing. But there's lots of different factors that come into play. That's the other reason we really recommend students come in to get their results and don't just look at UCAS and either celebrate or panic because it might not be a completely accurate reflection of what they've got. But yes, if the uni have said you need these grades and you get those grades, then they will honour that offer. Is the clearing call number for each university already on the system? So it may be on a lot of universities or will already have their clearing number ready. Um, it will be definitely available before the day. So I would absolutely recommend that before the day you have a look. It's probably on there now. If you type clearing into Google, the first sort of 10 things that come up are unis promoting clearing, and they've all got a phone number on. So I would very strongly imagine that all those phone numbers will be available. So, yeah, make a note of the courses that are available, make a note of the phone number, make a note of your UCAS ID and your UCAS ID. Your clearing number might not be available yet, and so you can call them if you need to on the day. Fantastic. So that's all of the questions for now. So I'll just have one more minute, see if there's anything else. Oh, we've got one in the chat. Sorry, one that's popped up in chat instead of Q&A. That's absolutely fine. If there aren't places available in clearing currently, is it worth following up with the uni? Not really. They want to fill those places. So if they don't have places, if they have places, they want to put them in clearing because they don't want empty places. What you can find sometimes is that it might not be in clearing now, but it might show up on results day because they might have had a lot of applicants who didn't meet their entry requirements. So they might have a few places that appear between now and results day. So make a shortlist now. That will be very, very likely to still be the situation on results day, but there is that slim chance that extra places could pop up. So it's not worth like ringing them or emailing them to ask, but it is worth rechecking on results day to see if a course that you're really keen on has suddenly gained a few available places because they've had to say no to some people. I want to apply to nursing through clearing, and I know it requires an interview. Well, I still need to do the interview. That will be down to the university. They will probably want to talk to you a bit more extensively than just, you know, hi, um, on the phone on the day of clearing, but they may not require a full interview. In the same way that they did for applicants earlier in the year. The only way to know is to ring them up. I would expect to have a more involved chat, maybe on the phone. I wouldn't necessarily expect to have to do a face-to-face interview, but but I may be wrong. I would expect not. Fantastic. It looks like we are done. So thank you again, everybody, for coming this evening. The recording of this, should you wish to to watch me talk through it again, will be on our YouTube channel. I'll try and get that up tomorrow. If you want the slides, drop me an email and I'll send you a copy of the slides, and then you can access all those links that are on the slides. And as I say, if you have any particularly specific or personal or tricky questions, please feel free to email me and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. The last day of lessons for sixth form is next Thursday. So just to let you know that between next Thursday and the middle of August, I won't be available. I will likely be back at work on, let me just check. the 11th or 12th of August, so the beginning of results day week. But I won't be available the sort of last week of July and the first couple of weeks of August because I will be on my break. So you can, of course, you can email me then. Just don't expect to hear from me. Otherwise, have a great summer. All families, all of our students have a fantastic summer, have a restful summer, and we're really looking forward to seeing all of you in August. Thank you very much.